Hi everyone, I am MMS, a professor of English. Today I am going to discuss a famous poem written by Robert Browning. The name of the poem is My Last Duchess. And Browning is one of the famous poets of the Victorian period, and he is credited for introducing and popularizing a new type of poetry, namely dramatic monologue. Browning's Last Duchess is supposed to be a finest specimen of dramatic monologue. Now, I will discuss about the features of a pure dramatic monologue. What are these? Number one, there will be a single speaker who is not the poet himself, meaning the speaker will be created by the poet. Number two, there will be an unresponsive listener, meaning he will be listening to the talks of the speaker, but he will never respond. To the audience, to the spectators, it will seem that a conversation is going on. As you see in a drama, there will be dramatic characters and the conversation, dialogue will be going on. The same feelings will be here. That's why the name is dramatic monologue. Number three features of dramatic monologue is the poem will be started when the speaker is in crisis, multi-dimensional crisis, basically spiritual or psychological crisis. When the speaker is in psychological crisis, he will feel restlessness, he will feel uneasy. Because of this spiritual uneasiness, the poetry will burst out. Number four feature of a dramatic monologue is character revelation instead of character description. While reading dramatic monologue, we will observe the characters involved in the poetry, in the poem. Browning's My Last Duchess is a finest example of dramatic monologue because it bears all these qualities, all these features of a dramatic monologue. Now, we will say something regarding its publication history. What is it? The poem is first published under the title Italy in 1842 in the volume Bells and Pomegranates, 3rd. Later, it is published in the volume Dramatic Romances in 1868 with the title My Last Duchess. The poem My Last Duchess is related to a duke, the Duke of Ferrara, whose last wife has been poisoned, has been killed, and now the Duke of Ferrara is going to negotiate his second marriage, and for this occasion the ambassador of a neighboring count has come to negotiate the marriage. It is in this occasion the poem starts. Now, Ferrara is a well-fortified city in Lower Lombardy. Ferrara is ruled by Este family. Este family is a royal family and it is ruled by this family. But surprisingly enough, this family is sometimes under papal authority, sometimes it is under a free lord. This is how the ruling system of Ferrara was going on. The Duke mentioned in the poem refers to Alfonso II or Alfonso II, who is the fifth Duke of Ferrara. He also belongs to the Este family, and now he is going to remarry with a handsome dowry. The poem opens when the Duke Alfonso II takes the guest to his picture gallery and shows him the beautiful painted countenance of the Duchess. The Duke starts to describe the picture, the implied aspects of the picture, painted face of the Duchess. He describes the picture's heart, mind, glance, smile, etc. He most shamelessly confesses that these qualities in the Duchess were increasing, and at a time he could not tolerate it, and he ordered and got the Duchess killed. At the end of the poem we see that the Duke is very much greedy. He is going to remarry in return of handsome dowry, and he recalls the guest about his master's bountifulness, and the determined Duke professes that he must take the professed dowry, meaning he has already spoken out the amount of dowry, and now his determination is that he will take it. Now we will directly go to the text itself. First I must say something regarding the title, My Last Duchess. The pronoun my is very disturbing. It refers to possessiveness. And we know possessiveness is a crime, is a social crime. The Duke's possessiveness. I have already told you that while reading the text, we will see the characteristic features of the characters involved in the poem. There will be two characters, the Duke and the Duchess, the last Duchess and the Duke, who is the speaker of the poem. We are going to have the profile picture of the Duke's character and the Duchess character as well. Actually, the Duke is trying to project the character of Duchess in a negative light. But ironically enough, with the intelligent readers, look at the character of Mr. Duke. So, the Duke's and the Duchess's characters are coming to us clearly. And the very title shows one of the negative aspects of the Duke's character. What is it? It is possessiveness. My last Duchess. Yeah, Duchess normally belongs to the Duke. He must not mention the word my last Duchess. There is something unsought authority. There is something unsought authority the Duke is going to show. My last Duchess. Now let's start the poem. In front of the painted countenance of the Duchess, the Duke is fingering at the picture and describing it to the ambassador. That's my last Duchess painted on the wall. The first line is, that's my last Duchess painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive. Look at the subjunctive mood. As if she were alive. This portion is grammatically called subjunctive mood. Subjunctive mood, why? Subjunctive mood means craving for past something, impossible something. We can observe the spiritual crisis of the Duke. The Duke wants from his bottom of his heart that the Duchess should be alive again. That's why he says the picture of the Duchess seems to be alive. I call that piece a wonder. The Duke has many negative aspects in his character, but some iota of goodness is also there in his character. And one of the good aspects in his character is he is appreciating the art. He considers the painted countenance of the Duchess as a wonderful piece of art. The Duke is a connoisseur of art. And we know, if one can appreciate art, he is not thoroughly villain. Some humanity, some taste of humanity must be there in this character. Fra Pendops hands walked busily a day. Prof and off. The painter of the Duchess's countenance was Pandolf. Pandolf is a painter, artist. But the word Fra means in Christianity brother. Pandolf is Christian brother. As he is religious man, the Duke must not be jealous. Still he feels jealousy. By using the word Fra, the speaker's negative character is much more heightened. Walked busily a day. The duration of the painting was a day, a single day. The painter, Pandolf, erected the picture of the Duchess within a single day. Got it? And there she stands. Consequently, the painted countenance of the Duchess is standing there. Will it please you? Sit and look at her. The speaker of the poem, urges the ambassador to look at the picture by sitting in front of it. I refers to the speaker of the poem, the Duke of Ferrara. Fra Pandolf by design, for never read strangers like you that pictured countenance. Look at the anarchism of the Duke, ferocity of the Duke. Before today, nobody dared to ask the Duke for observing the painted countenance of the Duchess. It is the first time that the Duke is raising the curtain of the painted countenance of the Duchess to a stranger. The depth and passion of earnest glance. The picture still possesses the depth and passion of earnest glance. Glance is passionate. The glance is captivating, arresting, alluring. The artist Pandolf seems to maintain the gusto. Naturally, the picture has become lifelike. So the real life passion in the glance of the Duchess has come out in the picture. But to myself they refers to the strangers. Today, the ambassador is watching the painted countenance of the Duchess as a stranger, and earlier many more strangers came and they wished to watch the picture, but they did not dare. To ask the Duke. Since none puts by the curtain I have drawn for you but I. The stranger cannot come and raise the curtain and see the picture of the Duchess. It is not permissible. The curtain covering the picture must be raised by a single hand, by the Duke himself. Nobody can do it. We can see the non-democratic aspect of the Duke's character. The Duke does not permit anybody else to raise the curtain and look at the painted countenance of the Duchess. He is so possessive. He is so rude and crude. He possesses Hitlerian mentality. He is a terrifying character to the strangers, and seemed as they would ask me if they durst. By reading the countenance of the strangers, the Duke could know that the strangers are desiring to look at the picture, but they did not dare. But they did not dare to ask the Duke. How such a glance came there? So not the first are used to turn and thus. How such a glance came there? This is the question of the former strangers, and now the same question is coming to the present stranger, to the ambassador. They were taken aback. How can lifelike glance, passion, alluring glance can come to the painted countenance? So these are the questions, but none could put the question. None could put the question to the Duke. So, not the first are you to turn and thus. Sir, it was not her husband's presence only called that spot of joy into the Duchess's cheek. The Duke clarifies that the presentation, the facial presentation of the Duchess is not limited to her husband only. The same kind of facial, the same kind of glance, the same kind of passionate glance is shown to every passenger, every passers-by, everyone, everybody. Perhaps Prof of chance to say, here the Duke feels jealousy. He thinks, most possibly while painting the picture, the painter Pandolf enjoyed freedom. He asked many things. He asked many things to the Duchess, and she complied. Otherwise, this lifelike picture could not come. Her mantle laps over my lady's wrist too much. This is the guessing. This is the guessing. The Duke thinks that the painter Prof objected the too much dress and clothes over the Duchess's wrist. The painter asked to remove the dress from her wrist, and she did so. Because of this lifelike picture had come into being, had come into existence. Or paint must never hope to reproduce the faint half flash that dies along her throat. Suppose the throat of the Duchess is covered with dress, clothes. What will happen? The feminine throat cannot be presented. So to present the feminine throat, the dresses from the neck, throat must be removed, so that the painter can see the throat of the Duchess and present it sensually, with passion and with that lifelike verisimilitude. This is the jealousy, this is the guessing. The Duke thinks that these are the questions, these are the objections the painter made to the Duchess, and the Duchess complied with the request of the Pandolf, and thereby the passionate countenance has come into existence. Such stuff was courtesy, she thought. It is also guessing. The Duke thinks that the painter Pandolf asked her these things, and she thought that it was courtesy. That's why she did what is spoken by Pandolf. What is spoken by Pandolf. And cause enough for calling up that spot of joy. And she deliberately presented that posture, that smiling face, passionate glance, alluring glance, etc. She had a heart. How shall I say? The Duke questions over the pricking heart, fluctuating heart of the Duchess. He cannot properly define the heart of the Duchess. He falters while speaking. Too soon made glad. The heart of the Duchess is so light, so democratic, that she is pleased easily. She is pleased easily by everybody. Too easily impressed. This is the description of the heart of the Duchess. She liked whatever she looked on, and her looks went everywhere. It is the goodness of a lady. She does not discriminate. She does not discriminate. She is always democratic. She is always open-hearted to everybody and everything. But it is not assessed in good light by Mr. Duke. She would look at everything and everywhere. Sir, it was all one. My favor at her breast, the dropping of the daylight in the west, the boughs of cherries, some officious fool broke in the orchard for her, and the white mule she rode with round the terrace. The Duchess is so democratic, so easygoing, that she never differentiated her husband and everybody, everything, anything else. She never valued her husband in different light. She considered everything in same light and same facial and same smile and same heart. 4 things. Number 1 is daylight of the west, meaning west side light. Number 2, the boughs of cherries. Number 3, the mule. And number 4, the Duke's offering or gift. These are the 4 things which are valued equally, and it is not tolerated by our Duke. He is angry. He is angry because of this. Officious fool. What is the meaning of the word officious fool? The fool, I mean tender-aged children who are always aggressive to help others unsought. Officious fool. They are willingly goes to the orchard. They willingly goes to the orchard and take some cherries for the Duchess, and the Duchess shows approval. Now, one and each would drop from her alike the approving speech, or blush at least. the light of the west, the boughs of cherries, the white mule, and the gift of the Duke cannot tolerate that his gift, his favor will be like the favor of others. So naturally, he is angry with the Duchess. Now, she thanked men, good. The thanking of the Duchess to others is supposed to be good, but thanked in somehow the mannerism, the manner of thanking is not liked by the Duke. Thanking others is socially good, but the manner of thanking, the style of thanking others is not liked by Mr. Duke. I know not how. The Duke seems to be dullard. He does not have the proper words to express his mind. Earlier we have seen that he cannot describe the heart of the Duchess in proper way. And now he cannot describe the style of thanking of the Duchess to others. As if she ranked my gift of 900 years old name with anybody's gift. How can it be tolerated? How can it be tolerated that the gift of riff-raff men, the gifts of riff-raff men are being compared with the gift of mine? I have the pride of family. 900 years old family am I. So naturally, that the Duke is equally angry with the Duchess. Who would stoop to blame this sort of trifling? Yeah? After marriage, the husband and wife gradually change themselves and ultimately they come on a single line. But the Duke, who is very proud, who is very sentimental, cannot stoop to change the Duchess. He said, who would stoop to blame this sort of trifling? Answer is clear. At least the Duke will not stoop to blame the trifling in the Duchess. Even had you skill, you have skill enough to stoop and to rectify your wife. But the Duke does not have the skill, does not have the intention to rectify his wife. Naturally, he is determined not to stoop. Which I have not, he confesses. The Duke confesses that I have not got proper words to blame this trifling of the Duchess, to make your will quite clear to such one and say what will be the words while rectifying your wife. Just this or that in you disgust me. You are asking your wife that you should not do this. Your behavior has insulted me. Or here you miss, or there exceed the mark. These are the words, social words, which can be used to rectify the wife, or vice versa. Wife can also rectify husband, husband can also rectify wife by saying these words. And if she let herself be listened so, perhaps your wife is well taught. She is rectified with your words, not plainly said. Suppose she is not properly trained, so she is not properly taught. She complies with your words prohibitions, guidelines in a slackened way, in a loose way. She is trying to comply with your guidelines, but she fails a little bit. She fails a little bit. Her weights to yours. It may be the weight of the husband and weight of the wife may not tell. The shortage of wit, intelligence, empirical knowledges may be responsible for this. The wife is not being properly learning from her husband. Forsooth meaning in fact or reality, and make excuse. She shows pretexts. She shows pretexts for not being able to understand, for not being able to learn everything from her husband. Even then would be some stooping. This is also one kind of stooping. And the Duke does not want to stoop. And I choose never to stoop. Dangerous life. And I choose never to stoop. I determine myself that I will never stoop to change my wife. This is the determination, destructive determination of the Duchess. Oh sir, she smiled, no doubt, whenever I passed her, but who passed without much the same smile? Look at the words. Now the Duke is on the smile of the Duchess. Whoever passes the Duchess, including the Duke himself, the Duchess gives same kind of smile, same kind of approving smile. But the dubious and fastidious Duke finds fault with the smile of the Duchess. You can realize the cruelty and severity of the Duke's character, and you can also feel the Duchess character of the Duchess to be easygoing, to be democratic, to be sociable. The character of the Duke and the character of Duchess seem to be contradictory. The character of Duke is foil to the character of the Duchess. This grew, I gave commands, then all smiles stopped together. This is devastating euphemism. This is the villainy maximized in the Duke. See, he got the Duchess killed. He killed the Duchess with hired murderers. There she stands as if alive. Again subjunctive mood. This is how the Duke closes the description of the picture. And there she says, will it please you rise? We'll meet the company below. Now the Duke asked the ambassador to rise and to go to the lower portion of the area and meet with the people in their places. Then I repeat, the count your master's known munificence, munificence meaning bountifulness. Then I repeat, meaning that the Duke will repeat his wished dowry, the amount of dowry. Repeat meaning he has earlier spoken out his demand, and now he will repeat it. Is ample warrant that no just pretense of mine for dowry will be disallowed. This is the flattery. The Duke says that as the ambassador's master is bountiful, naturally his demand will not be disapproved. Meaning whatever he will demand, he will get from his bountiful father-in-law, future father-in-law. At starting is my object. Nay, we will go together down, sir. Now the Duke asked the ambassador to go downwards and notice Neptune. Neptune is the sea god. You know, Neptune is the sea god. There is another piece of art. Though taming a seahorse, though a rarity, which Claude of Innsbruck cast in bronze form, it is another statue of Neptune taming a seahorse. It has been erected by a great artist, Claude of Innsbruck. It is made of bronze. Now Neptune taming a seahorse has enough symbolic significance. Here we can consider Neptune to be the Duke himself, and seahorse is the forthcoming wife or wives of the Duke, who will come as his wife, will be tamed, will be controlled by reins. Controlled by reins by the Duke. This is how we have got the fair picture of the character of Mr. Duke. He is bountiful, he is greedy, he is shameless, he is cruel, he is possessive. On the other hand, we have seen the democratic character of the Duchess. The democratic character of Duchess, she considers her husband as a husband in private chamber, but in public she never discriminates her husband with anybody else. It is the goodness, it is a good character, but in the eyes of the Duke, the Duchess is a vile character, bad character, fit for killing. Thank you very much.